I'm up late watching South Park, and I feel a lump in my breast. Now, just a quick plot spoiler here. This is not a story about breast cancer. I didn't have cancer. I just didn't know that yet. This is a story about overcoming adversity. Surgeries at Sloan Kettering. I'm in a hospital gown, booties, and a hairnet. Really nervous. I figured I had cancer or I didn't, but my mom had just died, and I was afraid they were going to knock me out and I wasn't going to wake back up. Every interaction begins with questions to identify who I am. Another nurse comes in. Name, Linda Badami. Birthday, June 10th. Allergies, penicillin. And you're here today for right breast. And she marks it. And are you sexually active? Yes. Okay, we're going to need a pregnancy test. I don't need one. She looks perplexed. I don't sleep with men. 4 nurses try to convince me to have a pregnancy test, and I say, you asked me a medical question and I told the truth, but that's not what you meant, and I forgot to translate. No, I've had so many tests, thank you, but I don't need this one. I don't want to spend another $500 for a copay for a test I obviously don't need. They finally give up and bring my surgeon in, who says, it's okay. If she doesn't want to take the test, it's okay. They wheel me down to the operating room. Since the bulk of my medical training comes from reruns of MASH, I know they're about to put a gas mask on me, and I'm going to count 97, 96, and best case scenario, I'm going to wake up and think, but was it all a dream? The doors open, the room is huge, and they are blaring music. I sing along, you know I wish that I had Jesse's girl. And I say, woo, we're gonna listen to 80s pop, and a woman leans over and says, would you like to listen to something else? And I say, no, you listen to whatever makes you happy. And I wake up in the recovery room because it's propofol, not an ether drip. And it's not cancer. When I turn 50, my doctor says it's time for a colonoscopy, and I politely decline because ew. Years later, I yield. Back to the questions. Linda, June 10th, penicillin. Yeah, I'm here for the colonoscopy, and we're gonna need a pregnancy test. And I say, no. And I tell her this whole story, and she says, you can just sign a waiver. But then her supervisor comes over and closes the curtain and says, no, never do that again. And part of me wants to open the curtain and say, you know I'm still here and can hear you, but I don't because I just want to go home. The doctor says I have so many polyps that I should tell my brothers so they get the colonoscopies too. And all the material did not properly vacate, so she can't be sure she got all the polyps, and I have to come back in 6 months. I used the time to craft a rant about the pregnancy test. The questions you use to identify me actually make me invisible, and I know that we live in a litigious country, but you need to come up with new questions, and what happens next is COVID. Vaccines had just been released when I go back. The nurse says that although the office is essential enough to be open, the staff isn't essential enough to get the vaccine yet. And my rant disappears. The only thing I have to say to healthcare workers is thank you. To be clear, my contempt for insurance companies remains fully intact. And I still present myself exactly as I am, regardless of their ability to see me. I just needed an X-ray. Before the nurse got the lead apron, she turned and whispered, we don't need a pregnancy test here, do we? And I said, no, thank you.